Morning, dear friends. I'm Prashant Mauni and I warmly welcome all of you to Study IQ. Today is Sunday. Let's enjoy our Sunday. Let's start with our studies, right? And then you can enjoy your day with the things that you have planned for the day. Dear friends, a very good statement directly related to you guys, particularly for those aspirants who are preparing for competitive exams. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. I'll give you a small hint, right? Whenever you read any article or maybe this video, or if you are reading any book or something, right, any topic, you can apply this thing. Once you have done with it, do think about it. Take out 2 minutes, 3 minutes conscious thinking. Do that thing and you will find that the understanding will become more in depth. With this, dear friends, you can get in touch with me with my Facebook page, Prashanti Mauni. I do share PDF and video lectures on this Facebook page too, so you can download PDF of all my lectures on regular basis from my Facebook page. With this, dear friends, StudyIQ provides pen drive and tablet courses for various different exams. To know more about it, check out studyiq.com. The first article that we have is about Rooster. Now, records reveal that this rooster crowing early in the morning during dark hours, right, very early, 4:35 a.m. This was spotted in Indus Valley days as well. This is pertaining to their circadian or rhythmic circadian clock, or you can say circadian rhythm or body clock. Every one of us have one body clock within us. Last year, 2017, Nobel Prize was also given for this, for research being conducted on the circadian or body clock. Anyways, the reason why I'm discussing this thing with you is it has a bit of science and technology thing in it, right? Basic science thing, that sound intensity is measured in units called decibels. Now, this king rooster, right, when this king rooster is crowing, the intensity is as high as 143 decibels, something similar to jet engine. Unbelievable, isn't it? But this is true. And 140 decibel plus can damage your ears and drums, right? This can cause serious damage. But as we are a bit away from this rooster, so it's fine. The other thing is, you can compare this and understand that a baby crying loud is 100 to 120 decibel, whisper is 30, mosquito buzz is 40, and busy traffic is 80 decibel. With this, dear friends, this is a picture of body clock and different phases, how our day passes. With this, I would like to say that one thing that I would like to share with all of you, and which is very important for your studies, is a very good sound sleep. It's something similar to your mobile phone. Imagine when you wake up, you have kept your phone the previous night in for a charge. You have plugged your phone for charging. But when you wake up, you find that your phone is just 30 or 40%. The battery is just 30 to 40%. So you know that this phone is not going to survive the busy days. In the same way, if we are, you can say, undercharged, something similar happens to us with, and particularly studies and productivity. Now, Cambodia backs anti-terror efforts. Prime Minister of India and Cambodia, right, we had a bilateral meeting with each other, and the main topic that you can say was defense, security and counter-terrorism. Before moving ahead, I would also like to tell you that today we don't have editorials and things like that, right? Editorials you find from Monday to Saturday only. On Sundays, Hindu, you don't find editorials. So news item, important news item that are relevant for your examination, important news item that will be hopefully will be seen or printed as editorials and articles. We will analyze all these things here, right? So we have something in advance and we can develop our in-depth understanding. So this was a big, you can say, this were in fact some of the big topics that were discussed. Terrorism was one of the most important one, and let us locate where Cambodia is, or which portion we are talking about. See, we have talked about ASEAN quite a lot of time, so I'm not going into details of those things, right? Today we are going to focus on, we have talked about Indian Ocean as well. So if you are new, if you're just, this is your first video, then I would reckon to check last week's, right, this whole week, past week, from Monday to today. Do go through all the videos, PDF files, and you will find map, and just go through it, go through that particular video on ASEAN and the things that we have discussed. Anyways, excuse me. This is Cambodia here, right, part of ASEAN, and if we have a focused look here, then we find that it is sharing its water border with Gulf of Thailand. You have Thailand here, Laos and Vietnam. You also find very important river called Mekong. Mekong originates from Tibet, and then it enters, finally it flows its water to South China Sea. And you have different other countries as well, right? You have this Thailand, you have Laos, you have Vietnam, all these countries. This is basically a sort of transboundary river, very important for these countries. With this, dear friends, you know it is connected with South China Sea and Strait of Malacca and Indian Ocean. So this is the reason why we are discussing. When I say we, I mean to say India as well as Cambodia are discussing about this ship visits and training programs and anti-piracy cooperation and security of sea and freedom of navigation, Indo-Pacific region and things like that. With this line of credit has also been provided by India to Cambodia in health, connectivity and digital sector. You know there is a cultural link between India and Cambodia. The biggest temple in the world as well, you find it in Cambodia. With this, dear friends, a girl is slapped 168 times by on teacher's order. Now the teacher or the principal is saying that this was a sort of friendly punishment, but the sad thing is that even today, right, our principals and our teachers, they are not aware about the psychological scar that this thing will leave on the young mind of this girl. And this is a very sad scenario. This is the, you can say, the most violent thing that you can ever do is hit small kids in school, right? This is not at all, I don't know who started it, right? And I personally have gone through it. I'm sure many of you might have taken some sort of beatings, or you might have seen some sort of beatings. But the thing is, at present everything is fine, but you do realize, right? You do realize that it will leave a sort of scar in you, right? If you can identify it or not, it will leave a sort of psychological scar forever. And so this is the thing, right? We have to look it at other way, rather than, if we cannot inspire, right? This should be part of teachers training program, particularly teachers who are dealing with young kids, right? With adults, you have different way of doing things, but with kids, right, inspiring them should be, if you want to motivate them, then you have to inspire them rather than punish them. This is something that I totally boycott. And this one of the reason why I'm discussing this thing with you is primary education, higher secondary education. You find questions, mains examination, they ask you about education scenario of our country. So this is a negative side of our education, and then you can provide solutions how we can sort it out. With this, dear friends, again a very sad incident. 13 persons, they have died, right? Died because of a road accident. Remember a couple of days ago we were talking about a very interesting article about driving license. We talked about many other things as well, seat belts, remember, helmets and protection for kids in the car and things like that. And here you see this sort of incidents taking place every single day. One of the most important thing that I want to talk with you, because we have already talked about other things, is that local people witness, right, accident. Whenever we find any sorts of accident, it is good that even today, not that many, but you find people, right, Samaritans, they do come out and they do help. So this is something that we all should do, rather than leaving it. This is a psychology as well, right? What we think is someone else is looking after that person, so that's fine, we can go away. But the thing is, right, when you have this sort of situation, think about, ask yourself one question, that what are the chances that no one would call an ambulance? So let me go there and at least, right, put this point over there. If you are not, see, everyone is different. If you cannot take a stand, it's nothing wrong with it. At least you can pass it to someone. You can pass this viewpoint to someone that it would be better if we give a call to ambulance, right? And this is something that medical professionals should basically, means once you once the ambulance is there, then let them do their duty, right? So this is the thing, very important. So it is good that local people who witness this accident, right, they informed police and rescue personnel. 17 crore children below 5 years of age are going to be provided with polio vaccine this year. This is the target under this Pulse Polio Immunization Program that is launched, and today is 28th January is National Immunization Day. We have a very successful program going on. Mission Indradhanush. Now Indradhanush basically means rainbow, so you know that you have 7 colors of rainbow. So under this, in Mission Indradhanush, you have 7 different diseases. We provide vaccine for 7 different diseases, and in some targeted districts around the country, it can go up to 11 as well, right? So this is the thing that you have to keep in mind. But a good program, right? Pulse polio program. And the reason why we know that at present we don't find new cases, but this is something that we cannot take it lightly, because this polio virus is still prevalent in Pakistan and other countries like Nigeria and other parts of the world. So this virus is still there, so we have to, right, relentlessly fight against this virus. With this, a private agency, right, intelligence gathering agency from USA talks about this satellite imagery that it has got, and it says that, it claims basically that this across LOC you find air bases being created. Now the thing is, with China we have some sort of you can say border dispute, but I must add here, and most of the time what we see is negative side. Of course, I'm sure you know many negative sides and how we are trying to keep a fine balance, and you know, this balance of power and rising China, and you see rising dragon and rising tiger, that is referred for India and things like that. Of course we have all these things, but when we compare our LAC, this line of actual control, with LOC, this line of control that we share with Pakistan, we find that this one is much peaceful. Ceasefire violations and things like that, you don't find those sort of things here. And one of the reason why is that talks are on. Both China and India, both of us are aware about strength of each other's, right? So war and things like that, you find a bit of you can say you know, the temperature gets a little bit hot many a times, but I don't think so it will result into a war. But this sort of things do take place, right? They build up these air bases and things like that. Anyways, we know the reason why it is important, because just in case if this Doklam is under China's control, then in future, God forbid, if there is ever, we don't want it, but if there is ever a war between India and China, then China can easily target from Doklam, it can easily hit this Siliguri corridor, and once it is done, then northeastern states, our 7 sister states, won't have any access from this part, our other part, right? And then China can take over this. Already it is having a sort of you know, it is claiming its territorial claim it is laying on this Arunachal Pradesh. So if this small chicken's neck, right, if you can choke this chicken's neck, then this whole portion of our country will become vulnerable. So this is very important for our country in this sense. 95 people died and 158 injured in Kabul blast. Very, very horrific news that we have got. 3 news, right? The one with the child, the second one with that accident, and this one. Taliban has claimed this responsibility, and this is the time, right? There are many incidents in Pakistan and other countries, right? It is very shameful, right? There's few people in Pakistan, few people in power. I don't know why, right? The people I have met many people from Pakistan, right? And there is nothing, you cannot say there is any major difference between our thinking and their thinking. But there are people in power, their administration, or you can say their army and their government, people in the government, in opposition as well. They have this sort of inclination towards this Taliban and other groups, and this is one of the major things. This is not, I am saying on emotional level, this is what our government of India is saying, this is what United Nations is saying, this is what USA is saying. A couple of days ago, remember how Pakistan was strictly asked by USA that get rid of this Talibani people or else we have to take some strong action. And see, 95 people died, 158 injured. Imagine the scenario over there, the pain, the sorrow that this sort of things create. And this took place, this incident took place, it was an ambulance was used, right? And it took place in a nearby high profile organization. This one is ancient crayon. Crayon basically means your colors and things like that. So an ancient lake in England has this ochre crayon. You can see here, right, a sort of painting that is done on the wall, and it is believed that it is somewhere around 10,000 years old. So this indicates that there are many things that you can decipher out of it or deduce out of it. At that point of time, it is possible that we were not able to, means there should be some sign language or there should be some sounds and things like that. We don't know yet. This is something that we have to assume. But people started expressing, right? Freedom of expression, you can say, right? Communication, a very important thing. So this is a sort of expression, and very basic, very important for us, right? For human beings. With this Cape Town crisis, dear friends, I have delivered one lecture on Mandovi river dispute, interstate river dispute that is going on between Goa and Karnataka at present. Of course, the lecture is in Hindi. The English one should be out there soon. I will update you on my Facebook page when we are going to launch this English version. Things are ready. Means I have made that video, but we have to, there are different slots. Anyways, so basically what I'm trying to tell you here is that if you haven't gone through the Hindi video, then I would recommend you to go through it. PDF file is available on our Telegram channel. I have shared it on my Facebook page as well. You can go through it. And if the language of Hindi is a bit of trouble for you, then English one should be out there by today or tomorrow. I will update you about it, but I would recommend you guys to go through it. It would be somewhere around 40 minutes, right? The first half, 20 minutes, we will talk about this Mandovi river, and I've also covered political side as well. When I say political, I mean to say technical side, like how tribunals works and things like that. But the solutions that I have discussed in that article, right, some of the best possible solution, and something that we can apply in our country and sort out this sort of issues, because climate change is going on. And see here, Cape Town, right, it is going to be in crisis after April 12, because this is going to be the first city to run out of water. Imagine the severe situation over there. You have severe drought, and all our voluntary efforts to conserve water have failed. And this is this is the first city, but this is unfortunately not going to be the last city. We are going to see this sort of scenario in many different cities, and water is a very, very, very important resource. And it is also said that if there is going to be any World War III, then it would, one of the main reasons would be water. With this, dear friends, this is farthest quasar, and basically the one thing that I would like to mention here is that quasars consists of supermassive black holes consuming mass, energy, or you can say they emit this radiation. So this is the only thing that I would like you guys to keep in mind, because the thing is that many a times you find this sort of questions, MCQ questions, they are pure general knowledge based, right? So sometimes you have to keep this sort of data with in your hand. This one is about smart minds. Now what smart minds is all about, it is a new way of you can say giving medicine, right, drugs into the body. It is basically you have tiny implantable remote controlled drug delivery system. This is, the name is minds. And if you say, for example, someone is suffering from some neurological problems and things like that, so you can inject this thing, and you can release the dose with the help of this remote controlled drug delivery system. And we know that India is facing this TB, right, tuberculosis issues. So we can use this thing, right? It can be used in different parts of the body as well. If you can give it directly into the mind or any other part, then this can help in the TB too, right? We can give dose of, say, for example, 1 month or something, and then you can have mobile application and things like that, and with the help of that you can release these doses in the body of the patient. Because one of the biggest problem why we see TB getting more and more severe is there are some gaps. Many times you find gaps in this in your medication course, and there are other diseases as well. So you find this sort of questions too, and this are the things, right? If you use this example, smart minds or this remote control drug delivery systems and things like that, then that will of course fetch you a bit good marks, and your answer will look a bit out of, means, you know, you will place yourself a bit higher compared to your competition. This one is about Generation Next Smart Solar Windows. What it does basically is that when you have this sunshine, bright sun in the sky, at that point of time the glass will become a bit darker. This solar panel, this is basically a solar panel. You can use it in your normal windows, house windows, office windows, and your cars as well. And nowadays we see this sort of buildings are in fashion, isn't it, covered with glasses. So we can have this photovoltaic window, and this will protect us from sunburn, as well as it will create energy. So these are the things that are required, right? New things should be inducted from now on. With this is your challenge, right? You have to identify these three gentlemen that you can see on your screen. Do let me know their names as well as the thing that they have done. With this, dear friends, I end this discussion here, right? Very sweet and short discussion is over now. We have analyzed all important items that we have got in the Hindu today. I have added a couple of items that were not mentioned in the Hindu, but I have got it from some other source just to fill that gap and just to utilize the time, the extra time that we have today in our hand. Make sure you check out StudyIQ.com, and don't forget to download your PDF file, right, and go through it. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Many different pen drive and tablet courses, everything on StudyIQ.com, so make sure you go through it. I'll see you all soon. Enjoy your Sunday. Jai Hind.